come that deeply into my life, you know what I'm saying?
So who cares? Why not do your own thing and let them say what they want?
Hey guys, what's up? First of all, I apologize for the weird dramatic lighting. My main ring light is downstairs because I am just about to stream some couch co-op with Jay. We're gonna play some Mario Party, and then I'm gonna get online and we're gonna play some Smash and maybe some Mario Kart. But that's neither here nor there. That's just to say that that's all I was planning on doing today, but I have this thing on my mind and I just want to work through it with you guys because my videos usually come out the best when what I'm thinking about and the video that I'm going to be doing the topic on is fresh within my mind, and usually I can do these as a stream of consciousness where I don't cut that much. There's a hair on my lip, so that it feels more like a nice little chat with friends. And particularly this one, I want your opinion on, and I do read the comment section. I saw a comment recently where someone was like, she asks you to say something about your favorite ship, but then she never reads it because, oh my god, I have to say these things. If I find that comment, since I was paraphrasing, I'll post it on the screen here. If not, if I become too lazy to do so, you know, that's me. That's just who I am. But anyway, what I want to talk about today is fucking fans and befriending fans even, and I'm probably going to put some clickbait title like fucking fans or something on here. But that's one of the most common questions I get, and I've answered it like 100 times, and I always say, if they're hot, why not? Recently, I saw a post from a friend and a cosplayer who I respect the cosplay of and consider her to be an acquaintance, but a lot of the stuff that I've seen her like on Twitter and say and do to certain people who, for instance, send her dick pics, it rubs me the wrong way. I've never talked to her about it, and I kind of want to, because she's been there for me when I lost my Instagram and stuff, and I consider her a cool person, very beautiful, but stuff that she does and says rubs me the wrong way. But what I saw in her story one time was her saying she would never date a fan because the power dynamic. And I've heard this said so many times, you know, and it's ringing true that it is a dangerous thing to do, to sleep with your subordinates, to have a power dynamic in your relationship. You don't have to be a famous or rich person with like a fan or whatever. And when I say fan, I don't mean it the way a lot of girls mean it, the way I see a lot of girls use it, where they're like, he is just a fan, like you're a lowly pleb. I do not feel in any way like you guys are any different than I am, and I actually abhor anyone treating me like they should be some kind of sycophantic little peasant to me being some kind of god just because I have a bigger online presence than they do, or because of the amount of money I make. I fucking hate that shit. We're all people in the same vein. There's no difference other than my... Oh, Eve's laying down there. She's so cute. Eve! You are so cute. Other than what happens to be my job and how I happened to get lucky enough to have a few followers on Instagram and on YouTube, I don't see myself as better than you because of that at all. Even in my own personal life, you know, I talk sometimes about how I'm a narcissist and I like myself better than a lot of other people, and I find that to be healthy. I don't even feel that way about my presence on the internet or about my station as a content creator. I do not feel that way, and I've never had idols. Like, I've had people whose careers I covet or whose skills I wanted to get myself, but it never felt like it was out of reach. It never felt like these people were some kind of godlike figures that had tapped into something that was impossible for me or another average Joe or Jane to tap into. I've never felt like these people are infallible and should be held to a different standard. And that's why I rail so much against the idea of, you know, you now have a platform, therefore you have a responsibility to push a certain, like, wholesome and morally correct, which is subjective, principle onto your viewers, or you should conduct yourself in such a way where you have this ultimate power. Like, I've found that to be so fucking narcissistic and ridiculous. Like, you are a person. Of course there will be people who will see you as better than the average person because you're a public figure, but that should not be, what's the word I'm looking for? That shouldn't be a notion that we nurture. It shouldn't be something that we, as content creators or people with a platform or people with a couple thousand followers on Twitter or Instagram, should be acting like is a thing. We shouldn't be perpetuating the notion that anyone who has a YouTube platform or who is in a movie or who is an actor or who even is the most famous person on earth has a different standard of humanity than the next person. We all make mistakes. It doesn't matter how much money we have. It doesn't matter how much clout we have on the internet or how many famous people we get to schmooze with. It doesn't fucking matter. We're all still people. We're all still gonna make mistakes, and our morals are still entirely subjective. So to say like, oh my god, I am Chris Evans and I am now famous, so I should push good morality onto my plebeian fucking viewers and followers, just huge disconnect from me there. I can't stress it enough. Obviously, if you're a public figure and you hold something dear, like for instance, you care about the rainforest or something, or you care about animals or veganism or pro-life or anything like that, if you have an opinion that you hold dear, you should peddle it to your audience. And sometimes it's a little iffy to me, the fact that there are so many people in Hollywood pushing for like a leftist agenda or something because that's what they believe in or what makes them the most money. Take your pick there, who knows? But my problem is not with the celebrity telling their followers to do something. It's with the followers treating the celebrity as someone who even has any kind of knowledge about politics, about facts, about morality. You should take everything that anyone says, especially celebrities who have spent their whole lives in a privileged state of just having a lot of money and not understanding the average common man. You should take all of that with a grain of salt. Oh my god. So, now that I've gotten this little rant out of the way, Eve's being so cute, it's really distracting. Now that I've got that little rant out of the way where I'm trying to say that celebrities are no different than the average person and that I don't see them as such, I do want to talk about the fact that there is a little bit of scariness within becoming friends with fans or fucking fans. Now, there are a few different kinds of fans. There are people who are just fans of your work, fans of what you put out into the universe that is public, but they have their feet on the ground and they're not thinking that you're some kind of omniscient being of greatness just because, you know, they like your work, you know? There are people who see me as a human being, but they're like, you have a nice ass, or your aesthetic is cool, or I like your videos, they're funny, but they don't idolize me. Those are the kinds of people that I want to become friends with. Those are the kinds of people that I've always been like, what's the difference? Why not fuck a fan? Why not be friends with my fans? Why not treat my fans as one of my collective groups of acquaintances / friends that I interact with on a daily basis as friends? Why not, right? But then there are a lot of people who will idolize you. They will put you up on a pedestal, and I said this in my last video. I don't know if it'll be my last video in chronological order on this channel, but the one where I was reading my DMs. There are so many people that once they get any foothold into your life as a friend, and they kind of ascend from that like random person who watches you to person whose name you know, they will flip on you. They will act like they have more control over your life. They will get really angry if you don't agree with everything that they say. They will try to hold this like, I made you who you are, and I'm going to stop supporting you over your head anytime that you say anything that they disagree with, or you might be, you know, making fun of them too much or something, and, you know, you hurt their ego, which is something that happens to me in friendships often. But when it's with a friend who used to be a fan, sometimes when they're the crazy fan type of fan, the kind that sees you as more than just a person or sees themselves as more important than they should in your life, it can be scary. For me, as a woman, it's more scary that they're going to, I don't know, dox you or show up at your house or attack you in public or flip on you when you do happen to meet them in real life or hang out with them, or maybe you say something in a DM and they screenshot it to try to make you look bad. That last part is less scary to me because I'm so open and I just don't give a shit, and I'm not gonna be publicly apologizing for bullshit that I joke about or anything. But from me, because I'm a girl and because I have the privilege of a girl, I don't often have to think about the problems and the implications that come with becoming friends with your fans. I say friends because it's more like acquaintances, because I don't really have friends, let's be honest. I really don't. I have like 4 friends, and then the rest, you know, I will respond to when I can or respond to publicly or something. And anytime that happens with you, if you were someone who was first a fan of my work and now you've become like a name that I know, it's not that I'm trying to ignore you or put you as lower than my real life friends. It's literally that I don't talk to people that often. And I feel like people misunderstand that, and they think they're entitled to more of my time or hanging out with me in person or or spending a lot of time with me when I don't even do that with the people that I grew up with, that I've loved for years, or that I met outside of YouTube. So for me, it's a little bit different than the average person who does want to make long-lasting connections where you see the person on a weekly basis, or where you're open to marriage or dating or looking for someone else in your life. I've kind of locked down my friend circle, and two of my best friends, aside from Jay, are people who used to be my followers. Or rather, people who were my followers before they were my friends, who I met through streaming on Twitch that actually became my best friends. So that is possible, and I don't see you guys as any different from me inherently. But I am going to be more cautious moving forward because, let's go back to what I was saying before. Sorry, you know how I am when I ramble. I get off topic and not everything is as succinct and as well ordered as it should be. But what I was saying before, my female privilege allows me to not have as big of a fear that something like Andy Signor or Pro Jared, that type of thing, or Chris Hardwick, Chad Hardwick, I don't know his name, I don't like the guy personally, but these are fucking fans, crazy ones, that they let into their lives sexually or as a friend, who just make up demonstrably false bullshit, and then as soon as they put that out into the universe, that person's career is ruined. That is one of the dangers of sleeping with fans. So when people say that they won't sleep with fans, I'm getting it more and more. You shouldn't trust that someone is going to be in the correct mind state to not see a power dynamic between the two of you. To see like, I am a fan, I'm going to idolize this person. Wow, this person fucked me over. I'm going to try steal their power, their fame, their wealth, and ruin their lives. When you meet someone outside of that power dynamic, which personally, in a vacuum, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal, again, to fuck your fan who idolizes you. I don't think it's a big deal to fuck your secretary when you're the boss. I don't think any of that's a big deal. In fact, I romanticize that a little bit. I think it's kind of a sexy thing, the power play, the power dynamic, the shift in power for me personally, as someone who has power in my everyday life. I like to give up power in bed. So something like that is actually kind of hot to me. Like the whole, this porn star did a like, fuck my fan thing. And I thought that was really cool and really interesting. But if you don't put boundaries on that, you can fuck yourself over. You gotta protect yourself. If you have a normal job, like a normal 9-to-5 job, and you're meeting new people, you have to protect yourself too. That's tenfold when you have something that someone else covets. So if you're someone who, let's say you have like a really cool car, and you start dating someone whose entire existence in life is to just have that exact car that you have, and they feel slighted by you in the slightest, or you end your relationship with them, there is always that like fear that they're going to trash your car, steal your car, or attack what will hurt you the most, that they will benefit from the most. So for me, it's like hard to grasp because I want to be the kind of person that's down to earth enough to like hang out with you guys or like do a meet and greet or something. But I'm also so paranoid and so moved away from building relationships in general because of this kind of thing. I've been burned before, you know? Like, I've had, especially girls, I've had a lot of girls, and I talked about this before. I think there are 2 or 3 girls who I talked to on a daily basis on Discord, and I considered to be friends, who were initially fans first. And obviously they were like, oh my god, I love what you do, girl, you're so hot, like, you're an inspiration and stuff. And I like hearing that stuff. I like hearing that my content is inspirational to them in a vacuum. But once they get to know me, they have to accept me as a regular person. And 2 girls in particular that I'm thinking about that I talked to on Discord and who became friends of mine flipped on me psychotically and started sending me threatening messages, and one of them didn't send me threatening messages. She was just kind of like, fuck this fucking whore, once she found out that I disagreed with her on something. And then the other one literally sent me psychotic messages for months. Like, there would be silence for a while, then there would be a psychotic message, then there would be silence, then she would talk shit. And it's like, it's scary to think that if someone actually wants to do you harm and you're allowing them into your life, you have no idea what their intentions are. So it sucks that it's another one of those rape fantasy type things. Not to equate this to my fear of being raped or anything, because I don't feel like that is gonna happen. I protect myself pretty well. But I want something that in the real world is nearly impossible because of the possible real world implications. So me becoming friends with you guys and inviting you over to my house, or you guys having my phone number, or having some kind of personally identifiable information about me that I would trust with my real life friends, it's too scary. It's too risky. So when I say that, yeah, I would fuck a fan if they were hot, that also includes that there would be strict boundaries in place, and that you would not be coming to my house, and I have to protect myself, and it sucks that I have to, but I have to, and I'm not gonna become a victim just because I make poor choices, you know? So, like, what do you guys think? Like, what would you do if you were, let's say, a boss? Or let's say you were a somewhat of a small internet celebrity like I am or something. I don't even like calling myself a celebrity. I guess I'm a public figure that puts themselves out there very heavily onto the internet for all to see, and then people who are strangers will interact with me or whatever. Would you interact with fans or your secretary or someone who could possibly have something to gain from it? Would you ever be able to trust that person? And it's almost like your well-intentioned paranoia. Let's change that. No, because paranoia is actually like an irrational fear. Your logical skepticism of these people because of the power that you have, would that ever go away? Would you ever trust that person enough if you started to date or marry a fan or a secretary? Would you ever trust the person enough to not go to HR and make up lies about you that could ruin your life just because they're angry at you? Would you ever trust that person isn't idealizing you to the point where they will accept you as a human rather than being like, this is the person who likes this, this, and this, and if I find out that they don't like this, this, and this exactly the same way that I do, I'm gonna try to ruin their lives, you know? It's something I've been struggling with lately because I am realizing that the men who are being falsely accused of sexual assault or harassment of fans are kind of dumb for getting involved with the fans. And it sucks because I'm a fan of a lot of things. I'm a fan of Ben Affleck. I don't think Ben Affleck should trust me enough to fuck me, especially not to fulfill my rape fantasy with him. That would be insane of him. And I know in my heart of hearts that I would never fucking accuse him of anything. I would never do anything to hurt anyone just out of spite, because that would make me feel like a disgusting piece of shit, you know? But there are people who don't have that internal respect for themselves. I don't want to say moral compass, because for me it's not a moral compass. It's what allows me to live happiest with myself and me living up to my own personal standards, that if I betray those personal standards, I will like myself less and my life will be less happy because I would be the person who went against what I believe and what I say I want to do with my life, you know? That's why I don't lie. Not because lying wouldn't be convenient or because I have some fucking amazing moral compass that you guys should all follow, otherwise you're pieces of shit, you know, like some objective moral compass. It's because I personally don't want to be that person in my mind that has lied to you guys and keeps keeping up a lie, and then I have to be like, oh my god, what was the lie again? Oh, I don't know why I'm looking at my Fitbit. I got a list of lies on my Fitbit right now that I have to remember, and then I'm trying to do the stream of consciousness video with very few cuts, and then, oh, I let one of those millions of lies that I've conveniently made to make myself look better to you guys, but look worse to myself. Like, that just seems so fucking stressful. I don't even know if that little montage of ranting made any sense, but yeah, I think I got most of it off of my chest. It's a conflicting thing that I think before I looked at too narrowly, where I was like, someone's texting me. Frank just texted me. So before I was looking at it too narrowly, where I was thinking, why not fuck a fan? They're humans too. They want to fuck just like I do. Why would I not fuck someone who really likes my work, which is something I covet so hard in my real life friendships. I've talked about this before, and a lot of people call me like a whiny, entitled bitch for it. I don't think they would today because I think I express myself better, but I made a video a long time ago where I was frustrated that all of my real life friends who didn't meet me through my content didn't support my content at all. And I didn't mean monetarily. I meant like they literally act like my career that I've put my blood and soul and hard work into doesn't exist and doesn't matter. And I know it's like an ego thing because they don't want to feel like fans, because so many people put fans like down in like some gutter, like, ugh, fucking nasty plebeian fans, like who, ugh. Like, I'm not like that, but I do understand that there's an inherent risk with putting yourself out there and then allowing someone into that life that you've built who may want something from you, you know? Because while they may have things that I want from them, a lot of people want fame. A lot of people want to tear you down when they're angry at you. A lot of people want what they can't have or don't have. But every relationship's like that, you know? Like, even if the power dynamic is pretty similar, or there is no power on either side, you can still get fucked over. So I guess the moral of the story is, when there's more risks, be a little more careful, but also try to stay open enough to make friends and to not demonize every single person you meet off the bat just for self-protection, you know? Like, it's a weird, I don't know where the fulcrum is on that. I don't know where the proper balancing point is there. And I think I found it just by virtue of me not really being a social person. So, for instance, last weekend at the Magic tournament, I spent most of the weekend with Jason, aka Metalistad, who is a viewer on my Twitch channel, but he's also a Seattleite who has been to many of the tournaments that I've been to, and now he's down here for a Magic tournament, and I'm like, wow, we can finally meet and hang out. And we hung out most of the weekend. But when it came up for him to come to my house, because I know that he's a little bit nervous while we're hanging out, and because I know that he sees me as a little bit more than just a hot girl, I'm apprehensive to allow him further into my life, even though I do consider him a friend, you know, and it sucks because I don't want to be like, yeah, Wesley and Brandon and Jay can all come to my house, know where I live, have my phone number, etc. But I have to keep this other person that we're hanging out with at arm's reach and not try to hurt their feelings or make them feel like they're less than me, which I don't feel. Like, Jason, if you're watching this, which you probably are, I love you and I had a great time with you that weekend, and I know we talked about the whole coming over to my house thing, and I'm so glad that you're understanding, and it's just like a self-preservation thing that I wish I didn't have to do, but I do, you know? It's like, for instance, with Eve. Like, since I've gotten Eve, I can't just, like, leave the doors open to the house, which is something I wouldn't do in Vegas because of all of the bugs anyway, but I can't just, like, leave the doors open because she's an indoor cat, and, you know, I feel like let's just not argue about whether or not you should let your cat out of the house. I think it's demonstrably obvious that they will die much, much earlier. In fact, their life expectancy goes down to, like, 5 years on average. If you let them become outdoor cats and stuff, and I just don't want to deal with it. It's too fucking hot. Just don't want to do it. So let's say that that's absolutely worse. Obviously, I'm giving up my liberty of just leaving the doors open to have a cat, but the benefit is that I have Eve, and she's so cute, and I love her so much, and she's the best ever. So for me, that's a good trade-off. And I just don't think it's a good trade-off to allow all of these people who seem like they have good intentions on the surface to come that deeply into my life, you know what I'm saying? With the possibility that they could try to fuck me over later, either through fucking over my career, leaking something that could maybe be misinterpreted to hurt me, I don't know, or literally physically hurting me, or having to, like, move or something because they start stalking me because, oh, they found out that I'm leaning a little too far right for them, so they're gonna attack me or something when they initially just thought I was a hot chick that they looked up to, you know? Like, I'm constantly putting myself out there, and even though all of the information you could ever want about me is out there, people can misconstrue it, people can not have seen a certain thing that would piss them off or make them fly off the handle, and when I get any inkling that someone has a little bit of that fan mentality where they're like, oh my god, she's a goddess, unless it's like fucking roleplay or something, like submissive roleplay, then I just gotta protect myself, you know? And it already works in my favor since, like I said before, I don't really hang out with people that often, and I don't like to go out that often, and I just like to stay in my little bubble and chill, and I don't always respond to messages or DMs of people who I know in real life. So it kind of works out to keep them at an arm's length. And I like people more when I keep them at an arm's length, because I am inherently a misanthrope, and I hate most people just in general. So when I can have the deepest friends that I have in my life be you guys, that's awesome. But then when you guys start asking to, like, come over or get my phone number or spend hours talking to me, it's just not something that I can do or feel comfortable with. And I hope that you guys understand the boundaries, and I hope you guys have boundaries put in place for yourselves, and I hope you can add to the conversation. I am done rambling. I feel like I've said the same thing over and over again now at this point, but I want to make sure I'm concise so that you guys understand what I'm saying, because it's a weird thing that I've changed my opinion on and evolved on over the years. And now that there are more and more instances from the Me Too movement being complete bullshit, obviously, where one side has all the evidence and the other side has, like, zero evidence, and how easy it is for the mob mentality to just kick in and start attacking people when things are taken out of context. I don't know. I love the life that I've built, and I love you guys being a part of it. And part of me continuing that existence is, unfortunately, even when I want to not, keeping you at a distance, and pretty much keeping everyone at a distance these days, you know? Because you don't know anyone's intentions. Protect yourselves, guys. Don't even let me too deep in there. I know some people, like, send me dick pics and stuff, And I love dick pics, by the way. You guys know that I've consented to that. But imagine if I'm not the person that I say that I am, if I'm not the person that I've shown to be in my videos. Imagine if I'm gonna out this girl, but not her name. She actually got a dick pic and she sent it to his employer. Imagine if I did that after saying, oh yeah, I love dick pics. Nobody would give a fuck. Nobody would give a flying fuck that I said before in a video that I like dick pics. Nobody would care. Once I said that stuff, once I outed you, you're finished. Like, your job just ends you. Oh my god, poor girl, sexual assault. Doesn't matter what she said in the past. Doesn't matter if she gave consent. It doesn't matter if they said they were 18. It doesn't matter if they are 100% at fault or even making shit up. You gotta protect yourselves. So yeah, I was actually happy when I read my DMs to see less dick pics or people asking first, even though it is a little bit scary. But thank you so much for trusting me with anything you've trusted me with, and know that, at least for me, because I would never want to be that kind of person, I would never do anything to hurt you guys or hurt anyone else in that way, even if we had a falling out, even if I don't like you anymore. It's just such a disgusting thing to me. It makes me viscerally disgusted to think about people who would do that just out of spite, just to hurt someone who even has hurt them rightfully. So yeah. I just wanted to get that little rant off my chest, and also that kind of stream of consciousness thinking about this. And hopefully I can cut it down a little bit to less than 27 minutes and 35 seconds. I love you guys so much. I will see you in the next video, and I'm gonna go stream and have some fun with you guys. Hopefully I'll see you there. Bye. If you want to follow me, that's twitch.tv/tarababcock. I try to stream there most nights. Often I'll take like a week off because I gotta catch up with the videos because YouTube comes first. But no matter where you follow me, no matter what, I really hope that you see me as just a human and appreciate the entertainment that I bring to the world, and don't expect me to be some kind of god for you, because that is not me, and that is not something I even want to be. And sorry about the dynamic lighting. It makes me look much worse. It's aged me, like, to my actual age now. Oh my god. I love you. Oh, my button just popped. Perfect way to end the video. Ooh. Bye, guys. Look at that sweat. Jeez.